Good evening and welcome to Cliffyland's Global Cooking Challenge. Tonight is night one of cooking the food of country number 163 of 193 UN member states. Tonight is the first night we're cooking the food of Sri Lanka. And tonight we're making a chicken Kottu Roti. So we're cooking the food of Sri Lanka. And in case you're wondering, Sri Lanka is the sort of pear-shaped island located right south of the coast of India, right there. So tonight we're doing street food. Hey, Anonymous, thank you, Team Skinner, for the like. Hey there. Now that we've got our shot, let's flip. Oops, there we are. And hopefully I've got my lens correct this time. Can you make me a cheesecake? No, I'm sorry. Thank you, though. Thank you for playing. Okay. On Top Chef, I am not a pastry chef. But I would like me some cheesecake. I was born under the influence of cheesecake. Okay. Thank you for the like and restream. Wendy, Jean, Anonymous. And let me get some stuff squared away here. This is going to be a little interesting. This particular dish is normally done, like I said, it's street food. Be found in various stalls. It's the way Americans look at hamburgers is the way Sri Lankans look at the Kottu Roti, or the Kottu. You'll see people in stalls just chopping. Hey, Derek. Thanks for liking restream. You're seeing chopping, and making this. Roti is a bread, is a flat bread. And so I would have made the roti. In fact, I even had a recipe for making roti. And I still might make roti myself for a different night this week. But I am going to use frozen roti today because I didn't have that much time. Also, there's so much involved in this dish as it is. But in any case, you'll see stalls, you'll see people with the griddles. You can look at it on YouTube. They'll be holding, two pieces of metal, and they'll be chopping and chopping and chopping and chopping. Ask you what you want in your roti, and then, here you go. So we're going to start off by making the curry. Of the curry, there will be a certain portion of it which will be allegedly not used, frozen, because this normally is used with leftover curry, but we have to make the leftover in the first place. So this particular recipe comes from the New York Times, from a restaurant that is, I did not know there was a little Sri Lanka in New York City. I just found that out. So we're going to start out taking out our mixing bowl, and I'll use you, and I'll explain what else is going on as we go, because I've got all this happening, and then tomorrow, off camera, hey Cass Needles, thank you for the like, I am going to be cooking all day, just not on here, doing retreads of different things I've done before for a party we're having tomorrow night. So I had to go to a lot of stores and get a lot of different things. And one of them was these chicken thighs. So for tonight and for tomorrow. So these are boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And we're going to use 6 of these, allegedly. It's supposed to be by weight, but it's at about 6, so here we go. These are 4, and I guess the others will be for tomorrow's dish. Thought I'd stop by and say hi. I never tweeted. Still really sick, love you. Well, that's very sweet. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Cass. And gonna have to clean that out. Avoid salmonella at all costs. Okay. Okay, I've got one more package from which to extract chicken thighs. And this is going to have to go back in. That leaves me with 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I'm only going to use 1 out of here, since it sounds like it would be extra. So, oh. You know when it says boneless, skinless, and then you see a bone right in it? Isn't that always fun?
Oh, no.
Yeah. All natural. Oh, skinless. It did not say boneless. Well, we're going to chop it up anyway, so there you have it. Back in there you go. And we're going to be cutting the bones out of that. Okay, for that I need to wash my hands. We also got some interesting ingredients here today. Be right back with you. Okay. But you'll see those later. Some of these you've seen before. So I'm going to now have to go through this stupid process of cutting the bone out of this. There's only 1 bone. So I think that was a butcher's mistake. Yes. It's only 1 little mistake right there. 1 mistake that means I gotta wash that anyway. But anyway, these things will get chopped into oblivion normally. So, isn't like I need to keep these pretty. But there's this whole curry thing that's going to happen now. And then there's a whole vegetable thing and an egg thing and then the curry thing on top of that. So how long this is going to take, I'm not terribly sure. But there's our bone. Okay, let's clear back to cleaning. I sharpened my knives before I started. I've been looking at Victor on the Swedish Food TV, and he was sharpening his knives today within an inch of their lives. I didn't know that one could go at it that strongly. I imagine there would be no knife left after. I was telling him I need lessons. Hey there, thanks for liking the restream. So, we've got the chicken. So, if you're wondering why I'm taking pictures, this is all for the blog. Everything is at cliffyland.com. You'll find pictures, links to the original recipes, these videos here, how it went, and information about the countries as well. So, into this bowl, we're going to start adding some marinade. And that's going to start off with soy sauce. I haven't got any other soy sauce since I got the soy sauce back in Japan, and I'm still working through that. So, hey, Adrian, thank you for the restream. This is this thin soy sauce that I got then. Slowly, we're working our way through this. Thin is thin in color, not light in sodium, in case you're wondering. So we're going for 2 teaspoons. Teaspoons, not tablespoons, Clifford. Teaspoon right there of soy sauce. Anyone ever see The Drowsy Chaperone? Hey, playa. Yes. If you ever saw The Drowsy Chaperone, you'll get the soy sauce joke. Woman's trying to cover up, lying about something. And she says, "Oh, what do you use to get out stains?" And she goes, "Soy sauce." To get out stains. See, that's the gag. Okay, we're going to need 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire? I've never quite gotten the pronunciation. And since I don't use that often, I don't know where it's buried in this world. Oh, oils. So, pardon me while I dig for the sauce, because it's probably the last one in the back. I've been eating you. Oh, come on. I know you're here. Nah, now that's nuts. Oh, duh, it's not there. It's in here. Okay. Ah, Worcestershire sauce. Okay. I don't use it very often. So, it gives us the umami flavor. So, 2 teaspoons of this. Whoop-a-doo. And that's 1. Hold that thought. Okay, done. And 2. This is traditional music of Sri Lanka, in case you're wondering. Sri Lanka, Ceylon. It was originally the Dutch named it Ceylon, and it was Ceylon for a long time. In fact, you still call the tea that you get from Sri Lanka Ceylon. Okay, we'll figure out the rest of that in a minute. Okay, now we're adding salt. We're adding half a teaspoon of salt to the mix. I left my glasses on this time because allegedly I see better with them. Allegedly. Well, at least now I can see what's across the room. So half a teaspoon of salt onto you. The music I mixed up, there's a good amount of this, but then I have some traditional music, and then, if there's time, the general pop music. In case you didn't know MIA, the singer-rapper MIA, she's from Sri Lanka. So we're adding a tablespoon of curry powder. Some of the recipes for this you'll see say that you can skip certain spices, but that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me. So we're adding a whole, 1 whole tablespoon of curry powder. And I'm kind of already running low on, this is, I think this is like the 4th jar of these things, of this that I bought. See, I can't see up close with the glasses, that's the other problem. Beth, thank you for liking the restream. Okay, well, yes, I'm definitely gonna have to buy more. I mean, I just bought this curry powder just not that long ago. So I've been making a lot of curries lately, as you can probably guess from that. Come on, focus. Thank you. Taking all day. And then we're adding some chili powder. I'm gonna leave this out because I think I'm gonna need it again. Where's my chili powder? I know it's right behind it. Again, been going through a whole lot of this stuff. So chili powder, we're adding 1.5 teaspoons. So we're going with the teaspoon. Don't get tangled. Now, specifically, these recipes call for Sri Lankan curry powder and Sri Lankan chili powder, but I was not going to go out and specifically buy those just for 1 week's worth. Is that Bob? Bob, thank you for the like and the restream. So, that's going to have to get washed out. Where's my half? 1/4, 1/2. You know... They make things so difficult. Everything is like the same color on the same color, you know. We could use contrasting colors for those whose eyesight is going. Okay, so we've got that, and now I'm gonna mix this up, and not using my hands. I've got another one of these spoons, don't I? Come back. Okay. So I'm mixing this all up. This is going to marinate for 30 minutes or more. And like I said, it said about 6, but it was by weight, and so I don't want to be short on chicken thighs for tomorrow's extravaganza. So this is just going to wind up sitting. I didn't want to have to put on gloves to do this with my hands. I may wind up working my way past this music. It's a little repetitive. Okay, so now that we have you, focus, thank you. We're going to let you sit for 30 minutes right behind you. I need to wash this out because it got messy. Next, we have to start prepping our cajillion different ingredients. If you know anything about Asian cooking, you'll know that there's always seems to be an ingredient list that's a mile long, and this is no exception. So we need to get moving. I'm doing prepping parts for both parts of this. Part 1, which is the curry, and part 2, which is the whole kottu. So here we go. We're getting a ginger, 2 parts of ginger, one for part 1 and one for part 2. And that's going to go there. And we're going to peel our ginger with a spoon, which is always such a joy. And so 1 tablespoon on one side and 2 teaspoons on the other. So to find my ginger. Okay. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing in this crazy, crazy world? I need trash. So, I don't know from looking at it how much I'm going to need to make a tablespoon. A tablespoon, 2 teaspoons. Let's say, where did I put my knife? That's over here. About yay. We'll see if that works. I'll keep you aside for the moment. Okay. I purposely picked a piece that would look like it was easier to peel, because I didn't want to be doing this all day. This is getting kind of irritating. I don't mind a little of this, but a little of it goes a long way. So while that associates itself. Okay. Let's do the skipperoonie. My goodness, that's a lot of... Okay. I'm assuming it's more of the same. We'll see. I'm not expecting too much from this album. I'm getting my music just from Apple iTunes, Apple Music anyway. So in case you are new to all of this, the idea is that after never learning to cook and not setting foot in the kitchen for 30 some odd years, I decided to get off my ass in 2012 and learn to cook by doing a different country in alphabetical order, cooking all the 193 UN member states. Started in September of 2012. It is now December of 2015, and we are in country number 163, which is Sri Lanka. I'm not exactly sure when we're going to end the year, since normally we take 2 weeks off at the holidays. But this year, the days fall differently, so I'm not really sure. Plus, now I have y'all out there to keep me company, which makes things more interesting. than when I was just cooking for the lonely little blog. The blog, again, is at cliffyland.com, and you can go there. You can see pictures, links to the original recipes, these videos, information about the countries, kind of reviews on how it went, and you can catch up on the countries that you miss. You can also follow right here on Meerkat, right there, and be notified of when upcoming streams are happening. You can follow on Twitter as well at Cliffyland, or on Facebook, just follow the Cliffyland, the Global Cooking Challenge, or on Tumblr, or on Instagram, or on Pinterest, and now on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would be lovely. So hopefully I guessed right on the amount of ginger. And because again we're looking for 1 tablespoon for part 1 and 2 teaspoons for part 2. So let's see how I did. This is not working for me. Not working for me. I got all the traditional stuff in the front. All the pop music on the end. So we'll see. We will see. I don't have a whole lot of trivia for you on the Sri Lanka because it's been kind of busy as I plan for what I got going tomorrow. So not too much. I mean, you have the Sri Lankan natives, you have the Dutch coming in, using as a trading post. The British are bringing in people from India to work, which became the Tamil. So, and there's been was a kind of bloody civil war type thing for quite a long time, which seems to have found a resolution, thankfully. Beautiful, beautiful country. So, let's see how I'm doing on my mincing of the ginger. Good and fresh this ginger was. I just got it. I had to go to 4 different places, or no, I had to go to 3 and the husband had to go to 1. Because one of the things that I needed could only be found in the Indian market, which is a hell of a long way away from here. Because there is not a Indian or Sri Lankan community anywhere nearby or right where we are. Which kind of sucks. Being a little on the remote side of things. Okay, let's see how we did on my guessing on this. So 1 tablespoon of ginger for you. And that one is for part 1, which is going to stay here. And the 2 teaspoons will be for part 2, which are going to go sit somewhere else. Hey, what do you know? I got close. You know what? I'm going to add that over there. Okay. Why not? Alright, so now that I've got that, next we're going to have to go into chili pepper land. I did not know that I was going to have the husband go down to the Indian market, where he probably could find the green chilies, the Thai small chilies. However, come on. So I got Serrano chilies at the local produce stand, which is the best I could hope for over here. They're small, they're green, they're hot. It'll have to do. It's not the exact same thing, but you know, sometimes that's the way life works. So, to prepare myself, for the heat, and you can watch me wrestle with gloves. La Scala Paderha de Kandi. Local traditional artist Gerard Kemmler. Musée Sacré et Akambi Colombo Catragama. I should look at what I'm doing. Okay. Thumb goes there. I always have trouble with this. It's always so freaking embarrassing. Okay. Thumb. It's when my hands are wet, it just makes it so much more difficult. Thumb, thumb, finger, 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 thumb. Yay, almost. It's like my hand is trying to do a Howie Mandel trick. Okay. Ow. Glasses are working a treat. Glasses are working a treat. Oh, thank you. It's kind of new, relatively speaking. Except with the contacts, it's just a horrible compromise. The horrible contacts, I can't see well up close, and I can't see well far away. I can see sort of okay at the computer, but then that's what I'm doing. Okay, we're using one. This is the Serrano chili instead of the other chili that I would prefer to use. But, you know, again, it takes what you can get. I did, like, so much shopping at the produce stand today, they didn't know what to do with me. This poor woman working there. There's like one guy in the back, and she kept calling out his name every 10 seconds, like, what's the price on this? What is this? What is this thing? What's the price on this? And he had to keep running out from the back every time. And then they got in some like crazy argument right in front of me, and I was thinking, hi, sorry, just trying to buy a whole lot of stuff. Don't mind me. It's like, you wouldn't give the owner this crap? Like, okay, hi. It was kind of goofy, but the produce, and especially when I have to buy so much, I mean, it saves so much money going to the produce market instead of the grocery store for it. I mean, sometimes it isn't, the vegetables aren't as pretty as they are at the Publix, but they're just as good, and I can pick out the ones that I want. I mean, these two little chili peppers, she, you know, since they cost so little, she just said, I'm not charging you for that. So, we got you, and we're going to slice you away. Oopsie doopsie. Come on. It's kind of strange to me, there's only one chili pepper. I mean, normally I would imagine there'd be more, but... supposedly, this recipe makes 4 servings. I'm guessing that there won't be leftovers. I'm guessing the two of us are going to eat what they would call 4 servings, but I could be wrong there. Because that just doesn't seem like a whole lot of heat. But then again, I've gotten used to like things being crazy spicy. So you've got our Santos. Ho ho ho. How are you? Thanks for the restream. So we've got our Serrano chili there, and since that still has chili residue, I'm gonna clean everything off. Pardon me. Talk amongst yourselves. The capital of Sri Lanka is Colombo, not the detective. Ink Panther. Oh, what a cute name! Thank you for liking the restream. I love me some good wordplay. Okay, Okay, I should be marking this off as I go. Okay, we're up to here. Okay, we are doing red onions. Now, there's red onions in both parts of this dish. So I need two, count them, 2 red onions. And they're going to go 2 different directions. One is sliced and one is diced. So, and they're not, you know, the most evenly shaped onions, red onions, as you can see. But I'm sure they taste the same. An extravaganza on the paper bags here. Plastic bags. Okay. So one will be sliced, one will be diced. So we're gonna go with you. I don't normally use red onions. In fact, it's been quite a while since I used them. In fact, it's been so long since I've used red onions that there was something, I don't know how many months back, that I had bought a red onion for and I forgot to use it. And it had been sitting back there so long. I thought, oh, well, I don't have to buy one. But it had been so long, I said, I think I'm going to wind up peeling it and finding out it's like ancient and rotten. So I chucked it and bought new. That's how long it's been. But tomorrow, we're having a party. Pretty doesn't matter when it comes to vegetables. It's all about the flavor. Indeed. Indeed. Which is why the produce stand is a good deal. I was going to go get stuff from the Asian market, which is really, I've mentioned before, they're really more Vietnamese than anything else. But I called about one of my ingredients, and they said, no, we don't have that. And I said, this is every time I go there. I don't know if you were watching a few weeks ago when I pulled out all this ginger that I purchased, and it was all, when I took it out, it was all rotten and ancient and gross. And it was very upsetting. Yeah, that place. When I called them, I said, you don't have something that basic? He says, no, we don't. And I said, okay. That's like the umpty-umpth time I've called for something basic, like red chilies, and they haven't had them. Which sucks. There's a little bit of softness here, so I'm trying to lose that. In fact, just lose this whole layer. But then I went on Yelp, and it was funny that I saw on Yelp the Asian market's reviews were, you know, pretty bad. They're like, oh, it used to be good, but there's a lady there who's really mean, and she says she doesn't have anything and doesn't know where anything is. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's a lady I've dealt with. And then someone said, oh, don't be so mean. If they can't help you, I just wind up going to the restaurant next door and I ask them to come in and point stuff out. I'm like, you mean you drag somebody out from another restaurant to go into the market to, like, tell you what, you know, where things are because the people in the market can't help you? And that's okay? You know, for the first time, my eyes are actually having a reaction here. Jock, hey, thank you for liking the restream. My eyes are actually having a reaction here. Wow. As you know, that doesn't happen to me often. But this time it did. Oopsie doopsie. Yow. So this is slicing 1. Wow. That's very unusual for me. It must be because it was all smushy in there. That's all I can guess, because normally I don't have a reaction to chopping onions. When I first was slicing, I had to slice onions thinly. I got a mandolin out and was doing it, but not only do I not like doing that, I can never figure out how to handle it. So just doing it with a knife works for me now. Even if it does go over. Wow, God dang it. I feel I should light a candle. Wabada. Okay, onion number 1. So this is for part 1, thinly sliced. And onion number 2 will be for part 2, which will be minced, diced. So we're doing the 2 different ways. Ha! Wow. Huh, okay, that's fun. Okay, you go here. Now for number 2. No, this way. It's not pretty. Okay. Hold on, I need to step away here. Okay. Wow. What are we cooking tonight? Tonight we are cooking the street food from Sri Lanka. It's called the chicken Kottu Roti. The chicken is chicken. The Kottu is sort of like the dish itself, which is sort of like a combo stir fry. Hey, thank you for the follow, Mommy. So I can never read up close. Mommy Joanne, thank you very much. And it is normally eaten in food stalls and stuff. It's sort of like it is to Sri Lanka what hamburgers are to the U.S. It's just like the common everyday go-to street food. So normally this would be done with leftover curry, but since there's no leftover to be leftover from, we're making the curry first, and then we're making the Kottu. So that we're doing step 1. J Fry Official, thank you for the restream. Oh my god, really, it never happens to me with the onions, but this time of course it does. So, let's go this way. So we're, this is for part 2. We're going to be dicing the onion. Are you there, hon? No, he's upstairs. Okay. I'm glad I threw that other red onion away because it looked okay on the outside, but I had the feeling it was kind of soft and yucky on the inside. And this one seems, there are parts of it seems a little on the soft side. By the way, I'm very excited that Top Chef is back. Now, we saw the first night premiere, but we're seeing last night's tonight. So don't anybody spoil it for me. Even though I kind of got spoiled already a bit. But we got 2 or 3 Miami chefs in there. So, looking forward to see what happens there. That's why I wear onion goggles. Yeah, it's just, never happens to me. It's crazy. I mean, people have remarked, they go, how is it that you don't have any reaction? Like, I just don't. And now I do. Okay. It's got to be the actual onion. The type of onion. That's the only explanation, because why else? Maybe I just got used to, like, one type of onion, and since I'm doing one that I don't normally do, maybe that's why. Who knows? Mommy Jean, thank you for the restream. Kenneth, thank you for the restream. How you doing? How's life in the Wild Wild West? So, dicing. Don't like you. You'll go away. Okay, your port 1 over here. Ay, Dios mío. I swear, candle. I should light a candle. Though no, candles tend to have scented candles. Scented candles don't go well with food. That's just my personal thing. It conflicts with the flavor of my food. Is there a veggie version of this? Actually, as a matter of fact, yes. Because normally when one orders a kottu in Sri Lanka at a street thing, they'll say, what do you want on it? And so you can choose to just have whatever you want. You want something with that's, just the veggie part? Do you want to skip the egg? Are you vegan? Or is it just vegetarian? Egg's okay. You could have it with tofu. Any number of things. Whatever you want to make the curry with. Because the only thing that's not, vegetarian, as opposed to vegan, in it is the chicken. So you could replace the chicken with something else. Because there's so many elements in it. This just happens to be a chicken one. When it is being chopped up in the street stalls, I gather it is quite the experience to watch. I mean, I watched a number of them on YouTube. But from what I read, there's also a musical factor, too. Because the people will be like a little competition as they chop up the roti, which we'll be doing later. People like sing a little rhythmic chopping song as they go. And then, you go to the person whose, performance you like best as well as their food. So, there really should be an Amazing Race challenge about it. Like whoever has the best little rhythmic song, wins the detour or something. They did go to Sri Lanka a few years ago on the Amazing Race, which was beautiful. And I was working with a close friend who was from Sri Lanka at the time. The sad part is that, like, right as soon as they'd already been, they'd filmed it months earlier. But like the day before it aired was when the big tsunami went through in, what was it, 2007? And destroyed, so much there. So that was kind of strange and upsetting. Ay, caray. Miso. Yay, yum. Yum, says Mommy Jean. This won't last for too much longer, musically speaking. Then we'll have something else. Hopefully it'll be a little better. Ay, Dios mío. Okay. So we have part 2, our diced red onion right there. Now we're gonna have to clean this up. What your song? Yeah, it's, yeah, something different. I don't know. I wouldn't be too good at that. I wouldn't be too good at that game. Chopping broccoli, chopping broccoli, and he was chopping broccoli, chopping broccoli, chopping broccoli, chopping broccoli. Okay, sorry, I gotta clean. And I have my special ingredient sitting right over here, which is coming up soon. One of the two. Oh, by the way, food from Sri Lanka. Virtually just about every single dish has one, if not both, of 2 of the ingredients that we'll be working with. But you'll see that in moments. But first, 1 tomato. It says 5 ounces of a tomato. I'm not gonna weigh it. I'm assuming 1 tomato will do. Because I had to buy a bunch of tomatoes for tomorrow. No, sorry. Is that for tomorrow? Maybe it's not for tomorrow. Maybe it's for part 2. No, that's for tomorrow. I have like 6 recipes in my head. Because tomorrow I am, for party guests, I'm doing first the basil cornbread, which wasn't from any country. So we'll say it's from the US. Which I did as a bonus dish when I was killing time cooking Sao Tome and Principe, which was like the best cornbread of your life. It's so good that I made it for Thanksgiving twice. And twice people were like, oh my god, that is so good. Why did you have to give me that recipe? So I'm doing that, and then I'm doing the gigantic... Oh, thanks for the restream, Mommy Jean. The big, giant, I don't even remember, like food in a drum from Papua New Guinea that I cooked for Papua New Guinea. And that is like the big drum with the... in it, it has the, oh gosh, chicken thighs and pork and pineapple and mango and cassava and holy cow, what else? There's just everything. And spinach and the green beans and so damn much. So that is all gonna be there, and then that cooks for 5 hours. See, when I did it on Meerkat, back when I cooked Papua New Guinea, entirely different audience because I was cooking like in the middle of the day because it had to cook for 5 hours, and I wasn't going to have people stick around for 5 hours to watch, you know, something sit in the oven. So no one on Meerkat got to see the final product. You have to go to the blog to watch that, to see that, not to watch it. So in those 5 hours, it's going to be cooking tomorrow. Then I'm going to be making the tomato salad that I made for Sierra Leone just a few weeks ago, which was super great. It was tomato salad with sort of like a peanut butter dressing, which was wicked good, to talk like a Bostonian. It's wicked good. And then I'm going to be making the Chinese steamed buns that I made when I cooked Singapore. I kind of learned my lesson on that one to not sort of crowd them all in the steamer. So I want to give that a shot. And, is there another and? And to order, towards the end of the dish, when my guests arrive, I'm going to be doing what I did last week, which was the Spanish gambas al ajillo, the shrimp in garlic sauce, which is very simple, very basic, very quick, tapas style. So I'm doing all of those things tomorrow. And, like, as if that wasn't enough, I had in my crazy, crazy mind to also do a dessert. Thankfully, the husband talked me out of that one. Instead of doing the dessert, I was thinking of doing this Puerto Rican dessert, which I've never done before. I've eaten it a million times. Arroz con dulce, which is, I have the recipe, and it serves 12. And I said, that's, you know, when do I get a chance to make something that serves 12 people? Because I never, ever do that, since we're only 2 people here. But I found this, my dad gave me this recipe, which, you know, my family's used many times. It's arroz con dulce, is rice with sweet rice with raisins and coconut, and it's damn good. But the husband was like, no, people are bringing dessert. Don't make a dessert on top of everything else. And I think he's right. I just like to make myself crazy. I toyed with the idea of streaming it, but you know, maybe it's nice to take a little time off of that. Besides, each of these is a retread of something I've done already. Hello from Earth, Jupiter. Hello, Ray. Raymond, my good man, how are you doing? Greetings from the from the gassy giant, Jupiter. It has been crazy. The weather has been bonkers out here today. It's been raining, and then it was so windy today that it felt like hurricane winds. That it was just, things were going sideways. I was thinking, Auntie M, Toto, no. So that was nuts. Also, I was saying that I'm having this party tomorrow, all these people coming over, because here in Jupiter we have a boat parade. So there's the Intracoastal that in Florida, we're in Florida in case you didn't know, that runs, you know, like, well, you probably didn't. I love arroz con dulce, but never has it with coconut. Yum, yes, made it with coconut. Yeah, I've never had it without coconut. That's what makes it dulce. Interesting. Maybe I'm just all used to being all Puerto Rican and all. But we have this boat parade, which there's the Intracoastal Waterway, which runs between the mainland and the barrier islands, and we're on the barrier island. And that kind of runs all the way down from, Miami all the way to, I think, to Jacksonville. But the parade is a few miles south, and all these people get their boats and cover them in Christmas lights and stuff, and you just go out and watch all the boats go by with their Santa Claus and bathing suits. Hey, Mariana, how you doing? Ay, Dios mío. Okay, so that's our tomato, our diced tomato right here. And now we're going to peel and slice 4 garlic cloves. But again, I need to clean. Ay, caray. Think about the boat parade, though. So we've been here for almost 4 years. No. Yeah, almost 4 years. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this will be our 4th boat parade. This will be our 4th boat parade. Good, Mariana. This will be our 4th boat parade since we've been here. This will be the 3rd one. Like, we didn't have a party last year, but every other year we had a party. And last year was the first year it did not rain. And what does that mean? It looks like it's going to rain tomorrow. So we're all going to be standing out there getting soaked, watching a parade. Good times. Okay, so garlic cloves, and then we get to our fun ingredient. Mariana, I bet you know what it is already. I betcha. I bet you can guess. You more than anyone else can guess what my favorite little magic ingredient is. Since we're cooking Sri Lanka. One of the 2 things that simply must be in any Sri Lankan dish. We got 4 garlic cloves going here. Well, that's 1. That's 2. You don't count. You're too small. Throw you back. Okay. Okay, killed that one off. Getting 2 more. Not close. Special magic ingredient. Good guess with the turmeric. 2, 4, okay. You're gonna see right after this too. So this is our trash here. And my knife is over here. Okay, I guessed wrong. Yes. But I guess you can get the right one. Because you know how much I love it. Trash. I always have to remember which hand has the trash. Okay. I saw Boing Boing was advertising that little garlic peeling gizmo I've used. The silicone tube thing. And I haven't used it since when I realized it's so much faster just to do it like that. Well, you're going to see the answer in a minute. Once I get past this. What am I doing with this? Slicing. Okay. Bad piece. Trim the ends off. Do slicing. And you. And slicing. So that's a good deal of garlic here. But yes, I had to go to the produce stand and then the fish market and then back here and then to the grocery store, and the husband had to go out to the Indian market, so I guess that was 4, not 5 places. I thought I'd have to go to Latin market for the banana leaves, but thankfully they had them. And the banana leaves I scored, I I've complained before that considering that technically I could go right outside and grab banana leaves, but I don't want to like steal from neighbors. That the banana leaves you buy frozen here are called la trigueña, which is Spanish, which stands for the brunette. But the trigueña brand plantain leaves, banana leaves, come all the way from Thailand, which is craziness, which also seems like a hell of a carbon footprint. So the ones I found today, luckily, just happened to be from Guatemala, so, you know, I guess that's closer. Not across the ocean. So we've got our garlic here, and now I'm going to wash this off, and then you get to see our little friend. Say hello to my little friend. The leaves of the, called the screw pine, even though it's not a pine tree at all. It's called the pandanus, or pandan leaves. In Indian markets, you will find them, in Asian markets, you'll find them frozen. And talking to my good friend Mariotti here, way back when I cooked Indonesia, and she gave me a recipe that called for it, and I said, what is that? And she said, oh, you can get it frozen. And then I looked it up, and I went, holy crap, that's a tree that's growing right outside, that I've wondered what the hell it was. Because it's this crazy, funny-looking tree that has air roots, sort of like a mangrove does, but it's not growing in the water, and it has these very leaves with very sharp spines on the end, which is what I'm cutting off right now, and because I don't want to get pricked on them, because that hurts, but anyway, I said, oh my god, that's that tree that's outside, and it has, not only has the leaves, it also has this funny-looking fruit, which looks like a knobby, I don't know, volleyball? No, not volleyball, not that big, softball. It's like the size of a softball. And it's got these, so it's got these kernels, and when it ripens, usually around this time of year, like a couple times a year, it explodes, and the knobs kind of come off and litter the ground. They look like giant candy corn. And they give off this odor. And this is the same odor that you get when you cook with pandan leaf. Previously, what I did, like for Indonesia and a few times since, is to just take these and tie them up, like and cook them in rice. And it gives the rice this great fragrance. This, for the first time, and I'm a little scared if I'm being honest, is that, oh, by the way, I washed the heck out of these, they're getting eaten this time. They're getting chopped up and put in the food. I've never actually eaten the actual leaf before, so this is going to be really interesting. Because like I said, usually it's been thrown away. Now I know, like with lemongrass, I've done the same thing, and I also have eaten lemongrass chopped up, so I assume it's the same deal. Because this time we're using pandan leaf two ways, in both ways, one way in part one, making the curry, and one way part two in the actual kottu. Ta-da! So, leaf 1, leaf 2. So, leaf number 1 is going to be minced. I guess they're both getting minced. Okay. So, I guess I need 2 of these for them. Hey, Diana, thank you for the restream. It is very unusual music. I've never chopped this up. I've seen, but this is one of two ingredients that are included in just about every Sri Lankan dish. Pandan leaf and coconut. Every dish you'll find has coconut everywhere. In fact, the roti itself, hey Diana, happy Santa Claus to you. feel like I should be better off using the scissors. Maybe the other side. Is that better? Never had to chop it up before. Caray. Yeah, this is better with scissors type thing, but when I saw someone cooking with it for some other dish, they didn't mince it up. They just put it in small, like 1-2 inch pieces. So, but this said minced, so minced it shall be. But again, I'm always wondering if the neighbors are wondering, why does that guy keep going out and cutting leaves off of our landscaping? I don't understand. It is warm. It is warm in here. And it's 7 o'clock. I don't know. I assumed 2 hours to do it because the recipe said, you know, you could do it in an hour and a half, but I am so slow. This is going all over creation. I think that's as minced as it's gonna get. Because it's flying all over everywhere. Ask Handy Manny for knives for Christmas. Well, no, Kenneth got me to get knives. I already have other knives. Ow! I have the vegetable knife, this big giant one, but again, I don't like using it because of this very thing. The stuff, when I use the big giant knife, it flies all over like this. You know, that's as diced as it's gonna get. I say that one's done. I'm gonna try the damn scissors, because that might work better. So one, that's for you, and the other one goes the other way. So I'm gonna try scissors. Look at it, it's flying all over the kitchen, stuff all over the floor. No good. Okay. This might be quicker. Because it's very thick. Just don't cut my fingers off, and I'll be fine. Like, want to say like one tablespoon, another tablespoon. Twisty, thank you for the restream there. Ooh. I need this to go faster. I can't do it in rhythm of the chants. Does anybody know MIA? The singer, rapper MIA? Paper Planes? All I want to do is boom, boom, boom. Interesting person. She was at the Super Bowl with Madonna. She's the one who gave the camera the bird and got in trouble. And she was on the Grammys, all like 9 months pregnant, dancing around with Jay-Z and company. That's MIA. She's Tamil from Sri Lanka. Okay. This is easier than chopping with a knife. Almost. Okay. Really, Kenneth, why don't you tell me to use a vegetable knife? Would that actually work better, or would it fly just as much? This is just really, really hard. I mean, when you buy it in the store, it's frozen, and I have no idea what the texture is when you defrost it, because I've only had it, like, right off the tree. Okay, well, that's as diced as that one's gonna get. I hope it's edible. I mean, I know it won't kill me, but I hope it's edible. Okay, so that's number 2, pandan leaf. And this is for part 2, so this one's gonna go over here. Alrighty, now we're done with the chopping. Yay! Aren't you glad? Only an hour later. Hold on. Wonder what that did to my knife. Okay. Now, the ingredient I had to send the husband to the store for is the curry leaves. I had curry leaves from before, but they're old and dried, and I'd rather have fresh ones. So he was nice enough to go get fresh ones. And the Asian market didn't have them, and boo them. That's what had bad Yelp reviews. So curry leaves, like that. And, my hands, yes, okay. So I need them 2 different places. I need 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 for part 1, and 10 for part 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 for part 2. What sort of music? This is a native music of Sri Lanka. The album, local traditional artists and something Sri Lankan music. It's off of Apple Music. I always try to find music of the country when I can. Sometimes it's a little crazy making, sometimes it's not. You be the judge. Okay, so we're gonna set out cardamom pods. 2 cardamom pods, green cardamom pods, which I'm so happy to be using because I have so many. So many. And I need to get rid of them. Hold on. Okay, green cardamom pods. When I was cooking, got these back when I was cooking India, and I have so many. So hopefully I will somehow make a dent in these before too long. So 2 green cardamom pods. 1, 2. Let's get a prettier one since I have so many to pick from. There. Okay. And, oh yeah, that's right. You gotta take out the cinnamon stick. And that goes here, and then we're getting a cinnamon stick, which we have right over here. You know, even with these glasses at the distance, it's hard to read that. It's also in French, which I don't know why it's in French, because French isn't a language there. Okay, 1 2-inch cinnamon stick. Right you are. Which all these spices appropriate since, you know, Spice Islands, spice trade, everything going through there. Okay, and last but not least, cider vinegar. It says you may not need it, but I have it. Apple cider vinegar. Which incidentally, if you have the unfortunate situation of having fruit flies, just stick out a cup of cider vinegar or a bowl of cider vinegar, and that will attract them, and then they will die. So 1 tablespoon of cider vinegar. It says in case you need it. I'm thinking I probably will need it. Apple cider vinegar. Okay. So, here we go. There's going to be a little chopping of stuff later, but that's while something else is going on. So, we're getting the large saucepan. And lid. And then we move over to the stove. Let me get me a drink of water. This is what I look like when the sun isn't blaring over my head. Okay. So we've got the big old saucepan. We're turning the heat up. And then we're going to heat up some canola oil. 3 tablespoons worth in there over medium-high heat. I use apple cider vinegar with mother in a lot of things. Oh, okay. I think I've only used it for like European sort of apple-centric dishes so far. Somehow I've gotten through a good deal of it. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons. It's the only thing that I can eyeball. So heating that up over medium-high. And let me get my spatula ready. Where are you hiding? Okie dokie. How you been, Diana? What's new and exciting in your world? So while that heats up, this is all going to happen very quickly. So I should be ready. This is ginger. Okay, so let me get everything lined up because, like I said, it's these things you only go for a few seconds a piece. So gotta be prepared. Garlic, holy crap, everything. Garlic. I'm trying to get well. Oh, you're not feeling well. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I hope you're feeling well soon. Hope it's nothing too serious. Okay. Lining things up like a little assembly line here. Alrighty. Medium high. Again, I discovered not too long ago the reason that I thought my stove was wonky, but if it was, it's electric. In fact, I have non-stick. So high is not high. I got my first experience not cooking with non-stick last week with the paella. Where did you get the apron? It looks cool. Thank you. From the fine folks at the Funky Fairy. The Funky Fairy, you can find them on Meerkat here. They're at meerkattees, TES.com. They're the coolest, nicest, most wonderful people. They have embroidered stuff. You can get backpacks and shirts and stuffed things with your kids' names on it and all sorts of things. So check them out. meerkattees.com. Funky Fairy. Follow them on Meerkat too. They're the coolest, nicest people you can find. Jovet, thank you for liking the restream. I hope I've got the pronunciation. Jovet. I know the singer, Patrick Jovet. You're not him, are you? You're not a disco singer from Montreal? Okay, in goes. The garlic is going to go in, sizzle for 20 seconds, so hopefully it's hot enough. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And now we're going to add the garlic. Oops. That wasn't the garlic. That was the ginger I need for the next thing. That was stupid. How are you? I'm okay. Nope, not him, LOL. Okay, let's try this again. The garlic. I'm doing okay, just trying to make this work without making more stupid mistakes. Okay, then the pandan leaf. The curry leaves. And the cardamom pods. And the cinnamon stick. In you go. And then we're stirring this until the garlic and the ginger are golden brown. And you can't see from where you are. I even taped the lens down. It wouldn't fall. So hopefully you can see. Oh, now of course it's steaming up my glasses. I don't want you to fall in like you do for Somalia Week. Hopefully you'll steady out. Oh, got that one in my eyes. Okay. So we're looking for a golden brown color here. No. Trying to get the right location. Okay, there. So we're looking for golden brown here, and once we've got that, then we're going to add the chili, the onion, and salt. Okay, so the chili, the onion, and salt. Chili, onion, and salt. Ah! Sweet ice cream. Oh, thank you for the like. Thank you for the like. We're looking for a golden brown, and I don't think they're golden browning equally, the garlic and ginger here. And they are, I mean, it's on a medium high. Maybe I should turn it down a little bit. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, so now we're adding our chili. Okay, get my camera ready. Our chili, which is deciding to stick to the bowl. Boo. Our onion. And a generous pinch of salt. And stir until the onion is softened and translucent, which it says to be about 3 minutes. Loving the tribal influence of your spatula, is that African or Aboriginal? It's looking kind of Aboriginal. And I'm trying to remember. Do you remember where that's a spatula?
Oh, which one?
The rubber one with the design on it. We didn't get that at the Food and Wine, did we?
The red one?
This one.
You bought that at Publix.
There you go. Just, it looks Aboriginal. Strange that you'd get it at Publix. So I have it kind of what I call a medium on the stove instead of the medium high, because I'm just fearful that it's going to burn the garlic and ginger. And once that's ready, we're going to add the 2 powders, which are somewhere. Where the flip did they go? I sent them out. Oh, no. Something got screwy. Give me a second. I'll figure it out. Not you, not you, not you, not you. We will figure it out. There's something weird happening here. Let me remaining. Ah. Okay, the curry powder and chili powder should have been split from what was used on the chicken. Oopsie doopsie. I hate it when it tells me to use part in one thing and part in another thing and I get it off. So instead of 1.5 of the curry powder, where is it? Chili powder, 3, 1.5. 2 on the curry. Okay, so, well, we're going to have a whole lot of curry and chili powder is what's going to happen. So, from 1 tablespoon, I'm doing subtraction here. Caray, where is it again? Chili, vegetable, roasted, 3 tablespoons, so 2 tablespoons. Curry powder. Screw it. All goes in. Maybe if I had the camera up, I could take a picture. It would work better that way. The rest of the curry powder going in. And how much of the chili powder? I don't know. I can't believe I'm eyeballing it. Well, it's in the damn chicken anyway, so. And cook until dark and aromatic. Well, it's certainly aromatic, that's for sure. It's already there. I don't know if you can see. I wish I could get you a higher view, but that's as good as it gets without you falling in. So, stirring in the tomato, and then our chicken's gonna go in. So, camera, so our diced tomato. And the chicken. Right hand, left hand. I'm kind of glad it's Friday, because otherwise I'd be freaked out over dinner being so late again. So, we're adding our chicken. And then I'm going to add a cup of coconut milk. This is I love any coconut milk that has a lid that you pull off. Cup. Right hand, left hand. Okay, cup of coconut milk. Now, if you know, obviously, the things that are spicy, things that cut the spice, coconut is the perfect thing to cut spice, cut the heat. So that's why you always find these curries that you can have hotter spices, hotter peppers in when you have coconut milk. That's why you have coconut in curries. Then we're adding enough water to cover it, which should not be too much. Water. Okay. And now We're going to bring it to a boil. And then add vinegar and salt. The vinegar is over here. And then the salt is to taste. And you know how I get when I'm about tasting my food. It feels weird tasting something that isn't cooked. I just can't really wrap my head around that. Okay, so cider vinegar going in. I need to reserve that coconut milk. Force. And salt to taste. Well, that means I have to taste it first, don't I? You know how I love doing that. Okay. Ow. Yeah, definitely need salt. I'm tasting all coconut. And the spices. And more salt. This definitely needed it. I've learned to not be afraid of adding salt to my dish when it needs it. Thank you all for teaching me that. Okay, lower the heat. So it's boiling. Let me taste it again. Not a big fan of coconut. You know, I wasn't either. And I've sort of become a fan now that I'm seeing it used in so many different ways. Because usually so many things I would stay away from. Because I don't like that. Like eggplant and coconut and there's about a dozen things that I was like, no. And now I'm good with it. Oh, damn. That's good. I think I hit that just right. Okay. So we're going to lower it to simmer and partially cover it. And cook it for 35 minutes until the chicken is just cooked through. So now that that's happened, I need to do 2 more pieces of prep before moving on to the next part. But first, I need to reserve that. Hope I didn't add too much salt. Getting a container for the coconut milk. Because I know over the next few days I'm going to be having a lot of use for it. So. And I know tomorrow I'm going to have to use a whole can of it for the Papua New Guinea thing that I'm redoing for guests. These are the roti. I bought frozen roti. I may make fresh later this week, but I didn't have time. But the roti in Sri Lanka has coconut in it, which is what makes it Sri Lankan. And I bought fresh shredded coconut for that purpose, so I still might do that later this week. Coconut flour, milk, and oil different when cooking with, I think, calms down the coconut taste. Indeed it does. So many different things that, I just thought dried shredded coconut when I thought of coconut, or coconut milk right out of the thing. And there's so many different layers and flavors to things that I did not realize before. Okay, so I need to go back over to our cutting board. The steam is rolling down the lid. We've moved on to more traditional Sri Lankan music, in case you're wondering. Okay. And give me some water. So a couple more things to prep. I can clean off a bowl. I can't pronounce that. Surapathy Varanama, recital in praise of the goddess Surpahi. Rs3 forever. Thank you for liking the restream, Derek. Can we look forward to some Sri Lankan dancing? No, there's not enough booze in here to get me to do that. Okay. Oh, here's where I need my little OCD cutting board, because I am not good at guessing what sizes things should be. And one of these says julienne right there. So I need to julienne some carrots. You know, I just realized the screen went dark, probably because it was so hot on the stove. That just hit me. Where's my pen? Over here. Okay. Mark off where I am. Okay, I'm trying to get 1 cup of carrots. So... let's see. My bag of carrots. Jock, thank you for liking the restream. A cup, eh? That should be a cup, I hope. I need my peeler. These came from the Publix bag, but still I should wash them off. What does restreamed mean? Okay, it basically pushes it up, the stream that you're looking up in people's, what they see when they look at the Meerkat thing. That's a basic way of looking at it. If a person has linked their account, their Meerkat account, to Twitter, it will retweet it, so it will go out to their Twitter followers if they've chosen to do that. If it has been linked to your Facebook account, if you choose to have it go out, it will go out to your Facebook friends. Otherwise, it just gets pushed up in the stream. So if you're, whoever, and let's say you aren't following anybody, or maybe you're just following, Jane, and only Jane's streams. When you open up Meerkat and you see X number of people, on there, the ones at the top will be the ones that are live from the people you follow. That will be followed by ones that have been restreamed by people who you follow. And next in, order down will be things that were liked by people you follow. And then will be everyone else. So it basically pushes it up so that more people can see it. Also, if you are into such things, the point system for the leaderboard on Meerkat, it gives the person doing the restreaming a few points and the person being restreamed a few points, which moves you each up on the leaderboard, if that's a thing that matters to you. So that is the answer to what restreaming is. Just as myself, speaking for myself, when I go into someone's stream, if I, enjoy it, I just hit restream. I hit like and restream to show my appreciation. And that helps us each. If I don't, then I don't. Sometimes I've gone in and hit like and restream right away, and then gone, ooh, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Something I didn't like, and then I go, ooh, I wish I could do take back. But there are no takebacks in liking and restreaming. That did not go well. I'm just trying to get a flat surface. I am not good at this. I am not good at this. I'm not good at this. That is why I have my little OCD cutting board right here. So I know how long it's supposed to be. This is, we'll eat you. Eat your trash. Whatever. You're welcome. And hope that helped. So I'm guessing you might be new to Meerkat. If so, welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is, again, the Cliffy Land. That's me, I'm Cliffy. The Global Cooking Adventure Challenge, where I am learning to cook by cooking a different country in alphabetical order, 1 week, one country a week, to get to all 193 UN member states. And we're on week number 163 of 193, so we have only 30 more weeks, 30 more countries to go before we hit Zimbabwe and end at least this phase of our challenge. Afterwards, taking a vacation, thinking of doing a big Puerto Rican blowout since I'm Puerto Rican and that's not a UN member state. And then entering phase 2. And still developing what phase 2 will be. But now that we have all these nice people on Meerkat that I didn't have before, it's going to be fun to see what happens. We have up on the big screen. Oh, you do? Hey, Savelle! Oh my goodness, using your Apple TV. Derek, yes, Savelle, I want to talk to you about phase 2, but that's what I want to talk to you about. Derek, 1-12-35, sunny Scotland. I've got to hit the sack, working tomorrow. Well, sorry, but you're working tomorrow, but thank you. Savelle, thank you for liking the restream. I have to catch the rest of the show tomorrow on YouTube. Thanks for now. Thank you. Lydia, hello, hello, hello. Okay, I need to move faster. I don't know, I don't know how this is done. I really, honest and truly don't. The one I mentioned before, the one little, the one cooking class I took, which was mostly a waste of time. They did try to teach us a julienne, carrots, but, it was like 10 minutes of a, 5-hour class in which half the time they spent babbling about things that had absolutely nothing to do with knife skills, which is why I was there. So I was really disappointed. So these are not going to be the perfect julienne cuts, obviously. At least I know how wide they should be. I'm not just eyeballing that. God, I wish there was like a gizmo that it would just abracadabra, just stick the carrots in and boom, they'd come out. That way. Because that's as good as that's going to get. So, Savelle, you're on the big stream. Oh my goodness, I'm in your living room. That's scary. But yeah, the cool thing about the Apple TV is with the Meerkat, anything you can do the AirPlay. And you can see it on the screen, and then you can see the comments on your phone. Yes, I wish they would have an app for the Apple TV. I think they know I wish that. I don't know if they're actually working on that. But they did put out an update for the Meerkat app just this week. There was more like a bug fix kind of thing from what I could tell. So, we'll see if any other cool features come, because they haven't updated features in a long time, and I'm getting a little worried. Between you, me, and everyone else watching. Because I see Periscope on the Apple TV as an app, which is just something you can watch. You can't, subscribe or comment or anything like that. But would be nice, because I'm, I look at Periscope once in a while just for giggles. I know that you can go portrait mode or not, which you can't really do here without the comments going all sideways. Because I've seen more and more people on here broadcasting in landscape mode, which is fine, except then the comments are all sideways, which is, again, weird. I will watch a da-da-da. Okay, didn't miss anybody. Okay, so now we have our carrots done, and now we're going to chop up some scallions, 5 of them. The reason I said these were now was because I knew it would take a while for that other behind me to do its thing. These are big, fat-ass scallions. 1, 2, 3. And I bet these should not come from where everything else. I'm curious where they came from. Tubby. Tubby, eh? Product of Mexico. See? I got these from the local market, except they look too professional to be from the local farms. And now I know. They came from Mexico. Came a long way to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leaving only 1 behind. I hope I don't need more for tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we got. Okay. Ray, thank you for the restream. Okay. Let me clean these off.
Scallions.
Scallions, green onions, yes. I have no idea.
Are we going to play some Booker T and the MGs?
No, I meant time-wise. I had no idea. I'm hoping somewhere around 8, but I can't guarantee that. Okay, so I might as well keep using this. So scallions, green onions. Sometimes you'll see them called spring onions, and they're not really the same thing. They're very close relatives, and if you see a recipe that calls for spring onions, you can safely substitute green onions / scallions, but they're not exactly the same thing if you're going to get picky about things. So for scallions, we're cutting them in 2 1/2-inch pieces. Again, my little OCD cutting board comes into play, so I can know what a 1/2 inch is, since I don't have a concept of space. It's about time, it's about space, it's about people from a different place. Interesting. I'm used to chopping these things more thinly. Okay, let me clear this out. Ah! Ah! Okay, back to here. Somebody said something. I heard a bling. After that, you can do recipes from all cities in the world. It would occupy you for 30 years. Haha, yeah, well, A, yes, it would. B, I've got ideas. I've got interesting ideas. One thing that sits in the back of my mind about the not biting off more than you can chew, which is what that would be, especially if I went alphabetically. Scallions. Is that there's a lady who is one of the people who's tried to cook around the world. As I mentioned before, only 2, maybe 3 people have successfully finished. I'm the only person I know of who's doing it like on the internet, streaming and stuff. Other people just did it as blogs and stuff. Some people are in process, but there was one woman who made a very brave attempt. She started, but when she started, she said, I'm not doing just countries, I'm doing every geographic distinction. So she did Antarctica, she did, that part of Cyprus that's a British Navy base. She did that part of Cyprus that's another British Navy base. which seemed a little kind of overkill. She divided China into its many different cuisines and Italy into its many different cuisines and doing them alphabetically, and the poor thing, her list was so long that I said, I don't know how she's going to do it, and then she just kind of gave up, which was really kind of sad because I was really enjoying her. So I don't want to be that guy. So I'm trying to think how I can work my OCD and what I've done already in with what I could do in the future. So, okay, so we got one more thing to set out before we get into chopping again. More soy sauce. More soy sauce. What gets out stains? Soy sauce. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of soy sauce for you. I hope that tastes good back there, I really do. I'm gonna go back and taste it again. But I hope I didn't make it too salty. I'm feeling a little paranoid about that. But follow it with a recipe book from that experience. Well, that's the other part of it. See, I don't, these are not my recipes. They're, you know, different people's versions of traditional recipes. So, you know, I don't want to get into anybody's, you know, intellectual property. But, you know, traditional recipes are traditional. And how, you know, to get a lawyer to figure out exactly where, you know, that dividing line is between, hey, that's mine, you can't steal it, and hey, it's everybody's, you can put it down if you want to. So we've got our Sri Lankan coconut roti, which normally be kept frozen, but we've been having it sit out here. These are tiny roti, but it said about a pound, and that's a pound. Now, when I may make roti fresh for some other night of this project, just not tonight, because that takes time to make the dough and all that business. But when you make roti, can be bigger. Normally, when you see it make, they can be like that big or they can be that small. It's dough, it's flour and water, but in Sri Lanka, it's also coconut. So I did buy shredded coconut to make some, but decided, you know, I figured if the husband can get them at the Indian market, then by all means. These are heat and eat. However, in this case, we're doing something special with the roti. In this case, it seems now when I've seen it done, the roti I've seen used are much larger and much thinner. So this is going to be unusual. I feel like poker chips. I raise you 3 roti. So Mr. Knife, we're gonna take these and you know what? Going back to my OCD cutting board, because once more it's requiring dimension. It's a dimension of sight, it's a dimension of sound, it's a dimension of mind, into 1 inch, half inch pieces. Now I've seen them take them and roll them up and just, you know, shred them. So that's what this process is here. So we're gonna try, they're still a little frozen, but not terribly frozen. So half inch chunks it is. Kenneth, why aren't you telling me to use the big knife? I'm doing it without you telling me. You call that a knife? That's a knife. This is not the knife, this is the cleaver. I used it to chop up my chicken last week. That's the knife. But anyway, I'm thinking of, because I know, you know, that I've got all these people who are following me now on Meerkat that weren't watching me, you know, there was nothing to watch before. And I've learned that I, you know, stuff from when I started, obviously. I wouldn't even thought of holding one of these things then. That's a 1/2 inch and a half. But then there's other stuff I want to do, and I don't want to, take up too, and I want to let go of some of the OCD to allow myself more flexibility. So I'm thinking on things because I'm really enjoying, being able to do this with y'all. Something that was not even a thought in the back of my head when I started. In fact, when I did the first dish, after the first night, and I said, "Oh, look, I did a dish from Afghanistan," and well, she's not watching. I have a friend with whom I would, joke about being the world's worst cook and how I didn't cook, and that was kind of my calling card. The fact that I was a bad cook and I'd never cooked, and but then when I cooked the Afghani dish and it came out so well, she just posted on Facebook, it's like, "Oh, you're going to be sick tomorrow," or something. And I was thinking, well, that was rude. So, we're barely friends now. Yeah. But in any case, but another friend said, "Oh, you should blog about that." I said, "Really? I don't want everyone to see me fail." But then I realized, well, if I do fail, at least it'll be funny. And I'm better with funny, so it's okay if I fail. So when people say, "Oh, what would you tell someone doing this?" I said, "Don't be afraid to fail. Kind of relish your failures, because you learn from that." In fact, David Chang, famous celebrity chef David Chang, he was talking about how he hates Yelp, and as most restaurants do, and saying part of the problem with this is that no one's allowed to fail now, and says you can't get good without failing, which is interesting. Good philosophy, clever move. Thank you. Of course, these aren't all even, but they're also not very thin either, so. But but look up people making roti online. I've made roti at least once before. When I cooked Guyana, actually, it was kind of flat. In fact, if you're thinking, why Guyana would be making roti? Guyana being in South America, a former British colony. Why would they be eating Indian food there? Indian bread is because, as with Fiji of all places, and a few other places on Earth, and even Sri Lanka for that matter, by the time the British were doing certain things, they'd already abolished slavery. They couldn't bring African slaves over, so instead they went to India and got indentured servants, which is kind of one step removed from slavery, and they sent them to their various colonies, Fiji, Guyana, and Sri Lanka, etc., and had them work there. And then when they left, all these Indian people got left behind, and there's various ethnic conflicts between the people who were there before and the Indian people who've lived there for generations, going, "Hey, we're as much as whatever." So roti is a thing in Guyana, and that's the long and short of that. So made roti for Guyana. In that case, I stuffed it with stuff. So we've got our chopped roti here, and we're ready to cook phase 2, but let me clean this. Be right back. One with the back of my head, you're allowed to. You can sit over there. Okay, how are we doing here? How's everybody on a Friday night? Okay, now while phase 1 is still cooking for another 5 whatever minutes, we can move on to phase 2, because now we have our stuff ready. So let me move everything over. Our soy sauce, our scallions, and getting out a skillet. Now normally this would be done on a big griddle, you know, in a stall somewhere. But we're not doing that. We're using the griddle, the skillet rather. And, you see me stressing? You're gonna know why in a second. If you know me already, you probably can guess. In fact, clean this up. I need to heat up some canola oil in this skillet right here. 2 tablespoons. Now, it says, you know, again with 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. It says over the cast iron, over high heat. We don't have cast iron. It says you could alternately do it over a non-stick. And I'm thinking, well, that's what I got. This is just me procrastinating. You know what's scary? This is our Friday night entertainment. Your card. 2 eggs. I've got 2 eggs right here. Oh my god, the weirdest thing happened in the grocery store. I'm going to buy eggs, and there's this old man standing there, like, opening the cartons of the eggs, and he's standing in front of the eggs, and it's, like, really in the way. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to tell the guy to get out of the way, so I kind of go around him and grab the eggs, and I notice he's opening the cartons, and he goes, this is crazy. This is crazy. And he opens every carton of 12 eggs, and every carton of 12 eggs, there's at least 1 or 2 missing. And he goes, well, there's 2 missing from this one, and there's 2 missing from this one, and there's 2 missing from this one. And I was thinking, yeah, you need to tell the manager. Yep, we've gone through nothing to curry. So I need me another spatula. I will do anything to procrastinate cracking an egg. Anything. Okay.
Like that Top Chef contestant.
Like the Top Chef contestant, yes. That could be any of them. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there was that guy on the first episode from... Was that guy from DC?
Yes.
The pig?
Oh, him. No.
This guy. Oh, no, yeah. Yeah, Lana. Worked with Richard Blaze. Such a pig. Oh, my God. Hold on. No, I'm going this way. Shenanigans. Oh, this is why I hate eggs. Crack it here. Okay. Scramble. Can you take a picture of that real quick? Ah! It's going everywhere. Okay, wash hands. I hate working with eggs because of that. Chickens and eggs.
Because of salmonella?
Salmonella. A little salmonella won't hurt you. Oh my god. Freaking me out. Okay. Picture quickly. Okay, here's where things go very quickly. I need that bowl back is what I need.
Little bowler?
Yeah. Because once this gets cooked, I need to dump this into that bowl. Then I need to get that other bowl. Because it keeps asking you, for this, it asks you to scramble the eggs. Did I take a picture of the eggs? Yes, I did. To scramble the eggs, and then when they're dry, take them out. And then to clean and wipe out the bowl, and then put that other stuff in, fry that, and then take it out and clean, wipe down the pan, rather, and then put stuff back in again. So, kind of nutsy cuckoo. Scrambled eggs. I'm not an egg fan. See, that's another thing I tended to avoid now. So many things that I thought I didn't like, I'm like, oh, I'm used to it, that's okay. I mean, it still freaks me out to put it together, but, you know. Avo, thank you for liking the restream. But, Bev wants to know, when did you start the Soul Around the World project? I started in September of 2012. September 2012. I was reading this book on about this woman in Afghanistan. Really interesting book. I wish I could remember the name of it. she was promoting on the Daily Show and such. She grew up in Afghanistan and then went to the United States and then went on to become. She went back to be a translator, and she talks about this one dish that to her was home. This stew that was, you know, all these feelings of home, and I thought, wow, that's really interesting. I wonder if I could get that recipe, and I looked online, I found the recipe, and I made it, and I just posted on Facebook. I said, wow, I just, believe it or not, I actually cooked an Afghan dish, and it really came out really, really well. And the husband was saying, oh, he's really proud of me, and I was like, great, and then that kind of annoying friend said, I bet you could be sick tomorrow, and I'm thinking, thanks a lot, bud. And then someone said, you know what, you should do that, you know, you should blog that. And I said, well, you know what, I love geography, I have OCD, I need to learn to cook, I'll just do a dish in alphabetical order one a week. And when I was investigating Albania, no, I asked for help from a friend, the same one who made the obnoxious comment, actually. And she couldn't help me with Albania. She was trying to say, oh, here's something for Israel. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's not Albania. And so I did Albania, but by the time I got to Andorra, I found myself looking online, and there are not a lot of recipes from Andorra. And that's when I discovered that there were other people that had the same idea. I mean, yes, I know it's a very Julia and Julia kind of thing. That isn't lost on me. Now it says wipe down, but dang it, it's kind of stuck on there. I'm not going to scrub this entire pan. This is weird that it says to wipe down the pan. I'm doing exactly what the recipe says. Which seems kind of goofy, but I'm not going to make it perfectly clean. Even though it will... That's not good. Okay. Let's sizzle. Okay, next. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of oil. Hopefully I have that much left. One, 2. Well, that's another dead soldier. And I'm glad I bought more. Hi, Bev. And 3. Okay. So heating you up to, doesn't say how high, medium high, which is kind of where it was. Personality. Jessica, thank you for the like and the restream for a late dinner. But you know, this part happens rather quickly, so you know we're not doing too badly. And the chicken over, what is time where you are? It is 8:02 p.m., which is about 16 minutes later than it should be. So we're going to add the reserved 2 tablespoons of ginger that I accidentally dumped into the other thing and had to fish out because I'm a goof. It's not really 2 tablespoons. I think it's supposed to be 2 teaspoons, but in any case, this is fine. We'll be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I'm not going to stress it. But I do have to take a picture. Okay. Focus. Focus on me. Okay, ginger. And then, let's see. When it becomes aromatic, I'm going to add my chopped pandan leaf over here, which I got from the tree outside. And chopped up. Focus, damn it. No, I don't want square. I don't panorama. Photo, thank you. Okay. And then our 10 reserved curry leaves over here. Not time lapse, not video, damn it. Why are you doing this to me? Photo. And so, well, it's been more than 20 seconds already. And the ginger is already getting kind of golden. Maybe you can see better that way. And it's starting to pop too. I'm going to turn that down a smidge. And now we're going to add our scallions. And our carrots. And I'm going to stir it for a minute before adding our onions. I was trying to read people's handles, and it's always tricky. I still get one Jeff Needles from Meerkat when I go on the streams and he says, "Oh hi, Clifford." It's kind of hard to read, especially when you're old. These glasses are like allegedly I can reading from the bottom, but not really. Usually better if I go over. R34 now forever. Arsenal forever. Okay, I get it now. It's like reading a license plate. My favorite vanity plate, though, was I saw in Columbus. There's a guy with a New Jersey tags in Ohio, and the tag just said, "What exit?" I had to take a picture of that and send it to all my Facebook friends who are from New Jersey. Okay, so now we're gonna add the onion. And I love it. Cook, stirring till the onion has only a little snap. You are making me hungry. Well, that's the idea. Envision the win. Yes. So about 3 minutes it says. Yeah, dinner is late. So sorry. Thank goodness it's Friday. Yeah, movie. Did I ever see that movie, Thank God It's Friday? It's a really trashy, bad movie, but I had to see it. I saw it twice in the first week in the movie theaters. Starring Donna Summer, Jeff Goldblum, Deborah Winger, and Terry Nunn, future lead singer of Berlin, in a non-musical role, with very tall shoes. And, oh, what's his name? No, not somebody else. Oh, of course, Lionel Richie and the Commodores. It's one of those so bad it's good movies. Someone told me they just had a midnight showing of it last night in Los Angeles. Okay, I don't know how it's gonna have a little snap, but while that's happening, I do need to taste my food with the spoon, which somewhere. Getting another spoon. Okay, I'm gonna try not to burn my mouth here. Trying not to burn my mouth. This is the curry. Mine is Arsenal, which is a soccer team in England. Ah, got it. You're a master of obscure facts. Very impressive. Oh, well, you know me. And you really know me. Damn good. That is the damn good. Okay. I don't know how I judge having a little snap on the onions here. I don't know. So now we're gonna add the soy sauce and salt to taste, which means again I have to what? Taste my food. Did you taste your food? When we watch Top Chef, we play Top Chef Bingo. It's like, you know, or the drinking game. You know, take a drink anytime Padma asks, did you taste your food? Okay, salt, well, and we'll... Soy sauce has salt.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't add too much of it. But there was a guy on Top Chef who was sort of like a... He said, oh, people call me a cochino, the pig. And I'm thinking, why would you say that proudly? And then he's sitting there serving people, and then he puts a spoon in to taste it, and then he puts it right back in the food that he's serving people. And Padma did not like that. It's like I always make... I mean, it's only the two of us, but still. I always make sure to wash it off. In fact, I need a fresh one. Okay, tasting. Don't burn your mouth, Clifford. Don't burn your mouth. Don't burn your mouth. See, that's why I've never tasted my food, because I'm always afraid of burning my mouth. Because I always do whenever I do taste my food. Holy crap.
Good stuff?
Well, yes, but the pandan leaf isn't softening.
We're eating the pandan leaf?
That's what it says. It's all chopped up.
Oh my.
It's chopped up. It's chopped up. Maybe not chopped up enough, but that was sort of the problem. That's going to be a thing. But we don't have time for that. Okay, now we got to remove this to a bowl. Turning off the heat. Chloe, thank you for the like there. Okay. And then once more, it says to wipe down the pan. That's what it said. I'm just doing what they tell me. I'm a little worried about that pandan leaf thing. Like I said, every time I've used it before, it's been something you remove before you eat. You don't eat the leaf, though. Like I said, with lemongrass, you can eat the leaf and do the same thing, depending. So we'll find out. Okay, now, oh boy, which 3 more tablespoons of canola oil into you. What kind of leaves or pandan? P-A-N-D-A-N. 1, 2, 3. Pandan, P-A-N-D-A-N. Also known as the screw pine. It grows right outside. Normally, when someone's cooking with it in a recipe, they'll go to an Asian market and they'll buy it frozen. So I don't know what consistency, texture it has when it's frozen. I do know what it's like when it's like fresh, because, you know, I chop it off the tree that's right outside. It's a funky looking tree. The leaves are, you know, sort of sword-like with little sort of spines on the side you gotta chop off. But when you cut the leaves off and wrap them and put them in rice, the rice has this amazing aroma and great flavor. But then you throw it out. So eating it, it's like a very hard leaf. So I was just biting it. It was like this, not as hard as it was right off the tree, but not as soft as I would want it to be. Now the ones in there in the chicken have been cooking for a long time, so I'm hoping they'll be more tender. But meanwhile, now we have to take our roti and we have to drop it into the oil here. And then we have to, when it's shimmering hot, stir until it feels dry and fluffy for about 5 minutes. So again, so sorry about the time, honey. between having to go to like all the different stores today and write everything out and deal with the rest of the world, it's been a day. So 5 minutes, eh? I don't know how I can tell it's gonna be light and fluffy. I don't know how it gets light and fluffy, but that's what they said. Light and fluffy. I've got it on a medium-high heat. The roti apparently sort of take the place of noodles in what would be a stir-fry, because that's what we got going here, stir-fry. I chopped them into 1/4-inch chunks, as you can see. I don't know how I tell that it feels light and fluffy. That's kind of vague. But then we're going to take two... Let me move this so you can... get a better look at what's going on over here. We have over here the curry, which has been cooking. In fact, it might as well be off because it's been done for a little while. And that tastes and smells like phenomenal. It is just, it tastes really, really good. So that's going to go in here. Some of it, though, is going to go in here. Not all of it. The rest of it is supposed to be like leftovers. And I'm feeling worried about the size of this pan. I'm going to taste this. I'm curious. It's bread, if you didn't know. It has the slightest hint of coconut. It's just like in the background, which is kind of nice. Hearty, filling. So, once that's going to be done, we're going to add some of the chicken into here. And then what happens? Then basically everything else. And then hope it fits. Yes, anytime I try to write out pandan in my blog, it always corrects to panda. So, hey, take the panda leaves. And I'm like, no, not panda. Take the pendant leaves. No, not pendant. Take the pajama leaves. No, not pajama. Pandan. P-A-N-D-A-N. Screw pine. I was just on someone's stream earlier today. I was mentioning this, and it's like, oh, like an evergreen? I'm like, no, it's not a pine tree. They just call it a screw pine for some stupid reason, because it has absolutely no relation that I can see to any kind of pine tree. The fruit that I mentioned before, which is like a big ball with knobs on it, and it explodes into like big kernels that look like giant candy corn. There's male plants and female plants, and the one outside is the one that you don't want, because one of them, the fruit is inedible, and I tried eating it and I was like, nah. And then the other one is edible. They're gendered plants. The one by the beach is the opposite, but they in Polynesia and Melanesia they make flour out of it, and you can make ice cream too. But I'm not trying that. Okay, time's up on this. So now we're going to take scooping of our curry over here. Drop that in here. I'm adding more. And then the vegetables. And the egg. Am I missing anything? And then some of the curry sauce. Just about 3/4 of a cup. I am just taking ladlefuls. And if I was a traditional Sri Lankan street vendor, I'd be chopping this up. Carrie, hey Carrie! And I'm Lavelle, thank you for the like there. I'd be chopping this up with 2 big metal, plates. But I'm not that and I don't have that. But I need to get my plates ready because it just has to be heated through, tasted, see if it needs more salt, and then we're done. So here goes. Where did my spoon go? Put that away?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, that. That was a while ago.
No, there was another one. And I put the... Okay. We're gonna taste. See how this goes. Here for you. Yum yum. Yum yum in the tum tum. That's really good. To be honest, the roti seems a little thick. I could see this would taste better if the roti was thinner. But this is the first time I'm having this, so what do I know? But I don't think it needs salt or anything. So I think we're ready to serve. Here we go. No, I don't need to keep that there. How can I? Right hand, left hand. Wish I could come over and taste. Over Meerkat, I can almost imagine the wonderful. It smells phenomenal. So normally this is in a big old bowl. We're sticking this on a plate. I really hope the phantom leaves thing isn't a thing.
Well, we'll stick them out. It's their problem.
Yeah. Okay, that's one. I'll clean the plate in a moment, and I'll let you get a closer look and stuff. Boy, I have the most patient husband, I swear. Dinner should have been eaten like half an hour ago. Okay, off the heat. Move it over there. Okay, clean the plates. Need a wipe down on 3. Firing, ding, ding, ding. Okay, I'll be right with you. Moving you over. Lovely kitchen. Yellow is my favorite. Thank you. I wish I could take credit. It came this way, but it certainly was a selling point in getting me to buy the place, so... I mean, when I got the place, I was like, oh, it's a nice kitchen, I'll never use it. Little did I know that the whole world would get to see it. Okay. So, picture time. You look nice enough. Alrighty-roo. Time for dinner. And finally, thank you, is our chicken Kottu Roti from Sri Lanka, night 1. A little shading here so you can get an idea. This is this is gonna be mine. It's gonna go in my belly. So, thank you for joining us for night 1 of Sri Lanka. look for, and thank you, for night 2. I think night 2 might be Sunday. I don't want to guarantee that. But definitely the last, which will be the second or third, but probably the third, will be on Tuesday. Because we always cook every Tuesday. Again, you can find everything at cliffyland.com. Find pictures, links to the blog, links to the original recipes. These videos right here, in case you feel like going back and seeing something you missed. How it went, trivia information about the countries. Catch up on the countries you missed, cliffyland.com. You can follow on Facebook at Cliffyland The Global Cooking Challenge, Cliffyland on Twitter, on Pinterest. You can find us on Instagram. You can also, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. That would be really cool. Find us on YouTube, just hit subscribe. Real cool. So thank you so much. You guys rock. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Savelle. Thank you all. Gotta go eat. It's been long and he's been real patient. Okay, thanks. Bye.